And that's Sexy Red's opinion. I don't agree, but there is quite a few people in the hood who feel that way. Like, you know, they'll say Trump got folks out of jail, Trump gave people stimulus checks, and Trump is funny. That's enough for some folks.
That is.
You know, me personally, I don't want a person that's taking us into fascism, and I don't want a leader that doesn't believe in the Constitution. Anytime you hear a person say, let's suspend the Constitution, you know, I mean, to overturn the results of an election, that's not somebody I want leading America. I need somebody who believes in the Constitution.
And once again, here goes this dude. He has no idea what he's talking about. And this happens all the time with him. Before we dive into this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you guys could please share so we can get it out there. And here we go with Charlamagne again. And here's his take. It's kind of interesting. Before we get into what he was talking about, he's saying that, you know, talking about the Sexy Red, and she's talking about, oh, you know, I think Trump's funny. You know, he helped pardon Kodak Black and Lil Wayne, the stimulus checks and all this nonsense that she was talking about. And she's like, oh yeah, you know, the hood loves Trump. We want Trump and all this other stuff, right? So be it whatever her reasons are, at least she's on the right path.
It's true.
So then he'll sit up there and say, I'm not going to deal with somebody or vote somebody that's leading us into fascism. I'll even put just a simple definition of it up. Really? So when you look through this is what Trump is basically trying to do to the US. Really, it's the literal polar opposite. You see what they're trying to do? And they're trying to completely get rid of all of his businesses with the help from the federal government. The federal government is trying to lock him up for contesting an election. They have parents that were up at school board meetings that the FBI, the federal government, was labeling as terrorists. They had people that were showing up to Planned Parenthood, protesting, locking them up. Elderly people, locking them up. So what are you talking? This is what the government's really doing. The people that January 6th, if you tore some stuff up and broke a window, all right, good. You should have to do some kind of time or whatever. But hold on, if you're just strolling through even the grandmas and all that, and you're hitting people with 10 plus years just for strolling through, that's fascism. That's the government just completely just trouncing down with everything they have on top of you. What about them completely censoring Twitter? They forget about all that, where you couldn't even say things you wanted to say about an election, about a pandemic, or anything. They were completely censoring you. That's what the federal government was doing. You have your whole logic completely twisted like a pretzel.
Me personally, I don't want a person that's taking us into fascism. And
once again, has no idea what he's talking about. But Joe will sit right up there in front of his face and tell him he's not black if he doesn't vote for him.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
He'll completely just put him down like that, and he'll say nothing. Or he had a little segment where he actually was touching on the fact that Joe called LL Cool J boy, or LLJ Cool J, however the hell he messed up his name, but he referred to him as boy, and Charlamagne talked about how it was racist.
And a lot of people are upset that Joe Biden referred to LL Cool J as a boy. As you can hear, he corrected himself on the spot. You know why Joe Biden corrected himself? Because he's 137 years old. He fully understands the word boy in the racial context around a white man referring to a black man as boy.
So he's basically saying that stuff doesn't matter. He'll still vote for him. The stuff he accuses Trump of being is actually the person that he's going for because he's bought and paid for. The border's wide open. Why don't you go up there and tell the people of Chicago and New York that you would love to vote for Joe because he's doing such a stand-up job? Then he goes to refer to talking about Trump about, oh, somebody that suspends the Constitution. I can't get down with that. Didn't you just realize your boy Joe, they just found out that all that stuff, not just, but they're going to find out again because he's trying to do it again. The student loan forgiveness is unconstitutional. All this stuff he's allowing these people to come across the border unchecked is unconstitutional. What are you talking about? All these things that he's doing is unconstitutional. He doesn't even respect that, but he'll lie just to get votes, and he'll play people just like Charlamagne, and they just fall for it hook, line, and sinker. And that's why people like Larry Elder will call him out to his face, because he's just a complete hypocrite. Or why don't you bring Joe in again and all these Democrats that you love so much and say, why would you lie to people about student debt relief when you know it's unconstitutional? constitutional? Why would you allow the borders just to be open, let these people rummage and just come through the border at will? Why would you allow just all this stuff for our energy to go into the hole? Why would you allow China just to have military bases in Cuba? Why would you just try to give citizenship automatically to like 470,000 illegal Venezuelans before you help anybody, the people on the streets? Why won't you have that dialogue? Why don't you go back and forth with that? See, there is no objectivity whatsoever. He'll fault one person, but won't call a spade in the next. And that's why people do not listen to these people. They have no objectivity whatsoever. Bought and paid for. You're going to go. Joe could do anything. He could call him the N-word to his face. He could push a little kid onto oncoming traffic. They're still going to vote for him because he is bought and paid for. And that's why you see these problems in Chicago and New York and all that. It's just this laser mindset, brainwashed that we're going to go this direction no matter what. We know that they fail. We know that they're not doing nothing for us, but we have to go this way because we're almost just taught, raised that this is the way we need to think. A sheepish mentality. He should be ashamed of himself, but he's constantly making himself look like a clown day in and day out with these stupid, ridiculous takes that have no substance and no facts whatsoever.
We also want him to have a black woman running mate, but not just any black woman running mate, one that's going to actually, get in office and care that black people benefit from her presence there. We need substance and significance over symbolism.
The environment is vital. Killmonger may have ruined and burned your field of heart-shaped herbs, but don't worry. I'm from California. I can repopulate that field with a bunch of different herbs. To the lovely people of Wakanda, I know you will make the right choice. And as always, Wakanda forever. Paid for by Kamala Harris.
So y'all let me know. Maybe I just see this through a foggy lens, but from what he's saying with fascism and all this other stuff, that's what the government is currently doing to multiple people. If anything, Trump wants less government. That's what we want the government to completely stay out of our lives, period. If it wasn't like that, he wouldn't have a Truth Social where you can go on there and say anything. You're not being suppressed on there. You are on other platforms. So if he was fascist and that's his platform, wouldn't he allow only certain people to be on it and only certain messaging to go out? This guy has no idea what he's talking about 100% of the time. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so we can get the whole word out there. And I will catch you guys on the next one.